Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, FNPF announces 5% interest for members. Fuel prices change effective midnight. And SODELPA still to resolve internal issues.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The economic downturn caused by COVID-19 has not deterred the Fiji National Provident Fund from crediting members' accounts with interest from its 2020 financial year. 5% interest equivalent to $286.2 million will be shared amongst 388,071 members as of midnight. Apinisa Wangarandovo with the details.
The amount each member receives will depend entirely on their average balance during the year, so long as they have some retirement savings.
While this rate is lower than what we have initially anticipated, it is still a very competitive rate given the current economic and investment environment.
Koroi says they have considered the fund's security before deciding whether it was in a position to pay the 5% interest.
These declarations has been done in consideration for the fund's future remains strong financial position. The full economic impact of COVID-19 is still working through the economic environment and will become more prominent in the coming year.
The FNPF also says they will continue to ensure members' funds are safe, and while relief assistance like COVID-19 packages may arise, members' funds are not exploited.
Unlike other countries which is a more developed social security support system, the FNPF is probably the last one standing in terms of Fiji. So we don't have the luxury of what other countries have. So we have to be mindful reminding what are the immediate needs of our members. We'll respond to it, but in the manner that we can afford and be mindful of all those obligations.
The fund has paid over $1.43 billion in interest to members' accounts in the past 5 years. The FNPF chief says they have reviewed all their investments and have taken into account the negative impact of the COVID-19. Apinisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
It's a short reprieve for the Social Democratic Liberal Party, having its suspension lifted yesterday. Officials now have to scramble to sort out acting President Vijay Singh's term, which expires today, and stay in compliance with its own constitution. Registrar of Political Parties Mohammed Saneem has already indicated this may result in a constitutional crisis. Lena Rees has more.
According to General Secretary Emelendo Ituturanga, the month-long suspension has given them time to reflect on the state of the party.
Well, obviously, we have a lot of catching up with each other to do. It's been a challenging suspension period. It's a new executive, it's a new management, and certainly we would be looking to consult more, to involve our constituencies especially.
With Vijay Singh's presidency expiring tonight, party officials are in discussions about the best course of action. Registrar of Political Parties Mohammed Saneem has recommended that the matter be dealt with by the special general meeting.
In order to remedy that, the party has been asked to call a special general meeting of the party so as to enable itself to rectify the deficiencies of its compliance with its constitution.
The biggest struggle for SODELPA will be to bring together the two factions which until yesterday have been embroiled in a power struggle, even to the point that party leader Sitiveni Rambuka was not involved in crucial appointments and the uplifting of the suspension.
He is the party leader and he is a parliamentary leader, and I'm looking forward to supporting that role and to work with our caucus. But there is, I believe, some appetite to unite different viewpoints within the party. But it's a leadership issue, and I will be seeking the guidance of the management board and our executives.
The special general meeting next month will also come up with a method of appointing a party leader. Lena Rees, FBC News.
Fuel price increases effective midnight will be an additional financial burden for some Fijians, especially those in the public transport sector. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission today determined the new regulated prices of unleaded petrol, premix, diesel and liquid petroleum gas for July. Kelly Vadala reports the only decrease is the price of diesel.
Fiji is directly impacted by world market prices for both refined oils and LPG.
Motor spirit from $1.66 to $1.84 per litre, an increase of 18 cents per litre. Premix from $1.29 to $1.47 per litre, an increase of 18 cents. And diesel from $1.54 to $1.52 per litre.
Taxi drivers say they will have to fuel up tonight to try and avoid the price increase, even if it's only for a day.
We just round, about 5, 10 round make it, then we have got one job like that.
It will go up, we can't do much about it. Well, things are bad for everybody.
Well, if the fuel prices go up, we can't say much because it's a shift in international prices.
Apart from global movements in fuel and gas prices, Fiji is also affected by international freight rate and exchange rates.
4.5 kg cylinder from $11.03 to $11.86, which is an increase of 83 cents. 12 kg cylinder from $29.41 to $31.64. 13 kg cylinder from $31.86 to $34.28, an increase of $2.42.
Some low-income families have found relief in the price of kerosene remaining at current levels.
Most of us use kerosene for cooking to even benzene light, and I am thankful the price in kerosene did not increase.
The FCCC will conduct its next fuel and LPG price review on the 1st of August. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The first round of COVID-19 tests for the 162 Fijian peacekeepers who recently returned from Sinai have come out negative. Minister for Health and Medical Services, Dr. Ifiremi Wangainambete, confirms the soldiers have all been cleared in this round of testing. Dr. Wangainambete told FBC News the soldiers will go through all the requirements before they are fully cleared.
For this group, because the numbers are big, they're using 2 facilities, I believe. Before they actually finally go home, they have to be tested again. They have to be negative before they go home.
Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama kick-started his tour of Vanua Levu today, commending the people of Vanua Levu for adhering to the COVID-19 measures and restrictions over the last few months. Speaking at the Nalumatua House, Bainimarama acknowledged the efforts of the communities, nurses, doctors and health officials that has helped contain the deadly virus. The Prime Minister especially thanked the people of Soa for their patience and cooperation during the lockdown period. He adds there hasn't been any new COVID-19 cases in Fiji for 90 days now.
Because of our success, our students are preparing to return to school. Our curfew has been shortened from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. every day, and we can hold gatherings of up to 100 people. In line with that directive, houses of worship can safely welcome back worshippers. Rugby and other sports can be played again. Most businesses can reopen, and we introduced a range of other initiatives to recover the Fijian economy over the long term.
Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama is expecting the Mbua Provincial Council to step up service delivery. This comes after the Prime Minister delivered on a request by the Provincial Office for Staff Living Quarters in Nambawalu.
Delivering on a promise made not long ago, Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama today officially opened and handed over 2 new living quarters to the Mbua Provincial Council Office.
But these new quarters also come with new expectations, and I expect to see an immediate step up in the service, in the level of services provided by the officers of the Mbua Provincial Council.
Construction of the 2 quarters started in April and was completed earlier this month.
Fijian communities across Mbua count on the officials stationed at this office to help them tap the vast potential that lies in their land, harness their willingness to work hard for achievement rewards, and lead this province into a new era of development.
The 2 quarters will be occupied by the Conservation Officer Mbua and the Assistant Rokotu Mbua.
In celebrating these new quarters, I ask you not let this investment go to waste. Every extra of extra hour of quality sleep you gain in these new quarters should be matched by an extra measure of service to our people. Because as your well-being improves so much the well-being of every Fijian you are entrusted to empower.
The two quarters cost government close to $180,000. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Up ahead, schools told to pay their dues. An increasing demand for milk.
Radio Fiji One, Nandomo Iviti.
The Ministry of Health has acknowledged there is a shortage of some consumables at various hospitals and health centres. Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wanganabete says there are challenges as some of the manufacturing countries were on lockdown, halting production. Koroi Tandolala reports.
The Ministry of Health is now exploring alternatives to aid those in need of certain medicine and other medical supplies which have become hard to obtain during this COVID-19 pandemic.
There are certain challenges with certain drugs because of the issues around freight and also the issues because some of the important countries for making drugs were on lockdowns for particular periods.
Most of our local suppliers are trying to maintain their stock levels. We should have enough stock. They are ensuring us that yes, they should have enough stock to last a couple of months at least.
Dr. Wanganabete adds the ministry's procurement arms have been able to purchase some consumables even during the peak of COVID-19.
So they've been working hand in hand to ensure that we have that if one is maybe in short supply, then we can use the other alternative. But also we have the free medical scheme that is in place. But I'll be interested to know, in particular, if anyone has particular concerns about not being able to receive medicine, whether they're more than welcome to let us know.
The Ministry of Health will continue to work closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Fiji Airways to secure necessary medicines for Fijians in need. Koroi Tandolala, FBC News.
Around 21,700 Year 12 and 13 students across Fiji returned to class today. Education Minister Rosie Akbar says these students are back in school after 3 months of closure due to COVID-19. In welcoming back the first batch of children, Akbar encouraged all students to abide by the rules while they work on returning formal education to a state of normalcy. She adds teachers are counting on senior students to set a good example for juniors and to have the right atmosphere for learning and teaching. The government is not liable to pay for debt and rates owed by schools. Commissioner Central Josefo Navuku made the comment following a request from the Ballantyne Memorial School Board during a Talanoa session yesterday to waive a portion of their overdue water bills and rates. Sanyani Boiler reports.
The Ballantyne Memorial School Board has asked for the government to waive a portion of the $36,000 they owe to the Water Authority of Fiji and $39,000 arrears owed to the Lamy Town Council.
We should not be thinking of piling up debts then seeking the government's help to waive them. We should teach our future generation to help pay bills, rates and debts on time, because if we don't, all families will turn to the government for financial help and this will be a big issue.
Nabuku says this could have been avoided if the school had good financial practices and paid its dues on time. The board has also requested the government to release the school's free education grant, but was told to meet certain requirements first.
The school needs to provide the audited financial report, the annual general meeting minutes, and the principal has to update her school roll. We will only release the grant if all these are updated and given to the ministry. I am working closely with the school principal on this and hopefully release the grant soon when all this is met.
Bore says the ministry began the release of grants last week for schools that met all the requirements. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited has a huge gap to fill to become self-sufficient in meeting the local milk demand. Fijians consume 60 million litres of milk annually, but local production is around 7 million litres only. Kritika Kumar reports.
Milk production continues to be a major challenge for the Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited, as the industry has suffered significantly due to bovine tuberculosis and brucellosis.
We at least try to, all the stakeholders are trying to do their best with the new interventions so that the farmers and cooperative plus the factory doesn't make losses, but they are able to produce at least reach 50% of that gap.
Kushmendra Prasad says dairy cows require proper diet for milk production, body maintenance and good health.
Farmers should also depend, if they want to save cost, is on the pasture. And the other thing is to feed cows properly. Feed proper nutrition to the cows in the lactation period, late lactation, and even when they are in dry. They should be fed properly.
The Agriculture Ministry believes the sector can become self-sufficient because it has been achieved in the past.
We were a much higher number, sometime back in history. So it has been done. Yield has been at a high level, and production was, at optimal level at one point in time. So it can still be achieved.
Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited has recorded a 7% increase in milk production in just the first quarter of this year. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
And looking overseas, New Zealand is spending $150 million on COVID-19 protective equipment on its borders. As the country scrambles to fix gaps in border security, one expert says the government should stagger the return of New Zealanders. Anchor Roy joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up at Business Tonight. Fijians flocked to apply for SME loans on last day.
हम शहर प्रकाश बात करता है तावा में मिर्ची एफएम सबकन से एंड मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
More Fijians turned up at the Suvavo House in Suva this morning to lodge their application for the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises COVID-19 assistance by the government. Amongst them was a group of women from Provincial, Serua, fully aware that applications close today, but will do all they can to submit theirs in time. One of these women is 51-year-old Susana Turangaduandua, who says she used to sell cooked fish on the roadside, but following the lockdown and curfew, her business wasn't making a profit and she had to stop. Turangaduandua hopes to revive her business and start a canteen to support her family during these trying times.
I thought this would help me get back on my feet, so that's why we rushed here this morning. Now that the restrictions have been eased, I thought the business would slowly pick up again. And I hope if my application gets approved, I would be able to sell fish again and also open a new canteen.
Airbus plane output will be 40% lower to 2 years compared to pre-crisis plans. This is underscoring the threat to jobs as it draws up rapid restructuring plans due to a travel slump. Sadifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the trading world.
Let's take a look at the latest in the forex market today. Spurring fresh optimism on the U.S. economy was pending home sales data, which showed that housing market activity had quickly recovered in May from a plunge triggered by the pandemic. Pending home sales, based on contracts signed last month, surged 44.3% compared to economists' forecast for 18.9% rise. All in all, U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said late yesterday that the outlook for the world's biggest economy is extraordinarily uncertain and will depend both on containing the coronavirus and on government efforts to support the recovery. Meanwhile, safe haven currencies were on the back foot today as hopes of an economic turnaround boosted stock prices. Closer to home, Australian employment is continuing to pick up gradually after the huge losses caused by coronavirus lockdowns, recovering around 30% of the jobs initially shared. Australian total payroll jobs increased 1% between mid-May and mid-June, though they were still down 6.4% on their level in mid-March before the lockdowns started to take effect. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Pinaka.
Turning to today's exchange rates as set this morning, the Fijian dollar showed marginal gains against all but one major currency today. The only weakening on the market today was against the euro. Now on to the commodities market. Crude oil prices rose to almost $39 per barrel, and gold was on the rise as well at $1,770 per ounce, and silver increased to $17.86 per ounce. Over 100 rice farmers in Bua are expected to benefit from a new $60,000 combined rice harvester handed over by the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama today. A donation from the Chinese government, the harvester is also expected to address issues faced by the rice farmers. Speaking at the handing over, Bainimarama says the harvester will address labor issues and significantly reduce harvesting time. He says government will continue to assist rice farmers every step of their farming, from the provision of seeds to planting, harvesting and milling. That's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins in now with the latest in sports.
Vinaka Kuroi and good evening.
My name is Enrico. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Supa.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Fiji football star Roy Krishna was more than just a player for Indian Super League side ATK last season. Krishna, who has re-signed with Hero Indian League champions ATK Mohan Bagan, says he didn't expect to play a leadership role in the team so early into his contract.
I had huge respect for the local boys, especially, they supported me, and even though our foreign boys, like boys from Spain, they couldn't understand the Hindi, so I was there to translate Hindi into English to the foreign boys. Maybe the numbers gonna increase in fan followers, but looking forward for this exciting season.
Players in the Fijiana Sevens extended squad have been hitting the gyms from last week following the relaxation of restrictions. Coach Sayashi fully confirms there are some new players in the fold, ready to stake their claim on the national jersey, including some from Vanuatu.
Fiji Sevens head coach Gareth Beba is using similar tactics.
For those young players, it's important that they have the opportunity to be coached, ask the right questions, get on with their training and be seen next to the senior pros to see how they match up to those standards, and that's really what you're looking at all the time.
It's no secret Parramatta Eels winger Micah Sivo is one of the strongest players in the NRL. Squash Fiji says the real work begins when they put return-to-play protocols into action. Pleased to be amongst the first accredited sports, Squash Fiji President Blair McCaskill says implementing and following the protocols will not be easy. McCaskill adds the protocols cover all levels, from cleaning facilities to the individual hygiene of players.
I think the real work comes into effect now when we actually need to put those foundations in at ground level to ensure we're following all the COVID-19 guidelines that we set out in our application.
Real Madrid are 2 points clear at the top of the Spanish La Liga after grinding out a 1-0 victory at bottom club Espanyol yesterday. The win takes Real 2 points ahead of reigning champions Barcelona, who face a huge test of their title credentials tomorrow when they host third-placed Atletico Madrid. In today's Play of the Day, we head off to Super Rugby Aotearoa, where Caleb Clark of the Blues had another blinder. This line break and pass to Reiko Iwane, a contender for try of the season. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media after the break, major corporations put pressure on Facebook to do more to remove hate speech. This and more coming up.
Bula FM number 2 en seri.
Organisers of the Facebook advertising boycott campaign that has drawn support from a rapidly expanding list of major companies are now preparing to take the battle global. This is to increase pressure on the social media company to remove hate speech. And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello to you and welcome to the Weather World. What a time to be joyful with a cup of warm tea on your terrace. The weather is just suited for it. It's cool, nothing too muggy or anything to complain about. Let's count ourselves lucky for that. Moving on to the other divisions. In the west, it stayed put, mostly clear. The night will be quite cool and we'll have overnight showers. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, overnight conditions where you definitely cannot dry your beddings. However, the night will drop to 19 degrees. And up north, who doesn't love fresh breezes? What a time to go fishing without having to worry about sunburns. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Now turning to the tides, low tide at 8:17 p.m. with high tide at 2:43 a.m. Sunrise at 6:38. For tomorrow, we're almost to the midweek with conditions looking to improve and especially the sun coming back into action. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will stay up at 32 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, more clearer spells await. Sounds fantastic. That's all the weather news from here. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks for that, Angie. In our Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, what should be the first priority for SODELPA now that it is out of suspension?
I think they need to work on their unity and stop coming up with ways to cause split.
They should respect each other and follow their party constitution.
They should work together and respect one another. That's priority for now.
I think they should first solve their differences so that when they return to serve those who voted for them, they are able to work together.
And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, a group of Italian musicians took COVID-19 social distancing to the limit by holding a concert on boats. And recapping the main stories for tonight, FNPF announces 5% interest for members. Fuel price changes effective midnight, and SODELPA still to resolve internal issues. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should the COVID-19 curfew be kept until the end of the year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day. Avinay Prasad took this shot in the beautiful province of Tailevu. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe, stay dry. Bye for now.
हम विनल प्रकाश है गोल्टन तामो में रहता है और सबको रेडियो FG2 सुने सबको लाइक करे
रेडियो FG2 देश की धड़कन।